we're going to Canada. He had himself posted at the embassy in Canada, wanted nothing further to do with this unjust war. So this, by the way, comes from one of his daughters, who didn't at first want to talk to me, and then eventually said, okay, you know, I'll talk to you, Bill, and tell you. And she was there, as a kid, just a kid. And she said, they went, and the president would call the house every once in a while and say, where's John? What's he doing? I said, oh, he's off on assignment or something. Okay, so he came up here to this country, and he stayed here for a good period of time, better part of a year, I guess. And then he was called back and asked to take on the leadership of what they call the 90 Deuce, the 902nd Military Intelligence Group. That's in the bowels of the Pentagon, the only MiG group in the bowels of the Pentagon, responsible to the Assistant Chief of Staff for Intelligence. At that time was William Yarborough. So he came back to take on that job. And his assignment was to organize a sniper unit and coordinate the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. And his justification, his rationalization for that was that Martin King had become so much of a danger to national security that he had to be removed. So he was a Pennsylvania native, fairly rural area, probably with all the usual racist inclinations anyway. But here comes this man whom he regards legitimately in his own mind as an enemy of the state. And so he rationalizes the fact he's going to be a part of killing Martin King, and he begins to set it up. And during this time, James Earl Ray, of course, James Earl Ray escaped from prison like a little less than a year before, and James is there, being led around the country, controlled by Raoul, step by step, always under control because he was getting little bits of money. He bought him a Mustang car, things like that. So James is just being moved around until the right time. And Downey chooses his sniper team from the special unit that trains at Camp Shelby once a year in Tennessee. In Mississippi. And so they're putting all of this together, and they're looking for the right time and the right place. And first the place is Los Angeles, and then the sniper unit's in Los Angeles. And then all of a sudden they're told to move out of Los Angeles into the south, of New Orleans, and then up to Memphis. I deduce later on that Los Angeles was the first choice because they have great control over the police and prosecution and the courts in that city, in that county. And that they changed their minds and moved it into Memphis because they couldn't have two assassinations in the same city within a matter of 2 months. And the Democratic primary was likely to nominate Bob Kennedy in that city, as of course what happened when he won California.